the Forge Lounge. We've moved locations to a new studio.
About 20 feet down.
20 feet away. But yeah, we're here to talk to you guys about the brand and what goes on behind it. More specifically, what it means to be forged in YO and what Fury means to us, as well as what it could mean to you.
But first,
smelling salts.
we have to niff.
Niff.
N-I-F-F. Niff.
Not with an S.
No S.
No.
Ready?
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
Shake, shake. Pank, pank.
Oh, man.
In the nostrils.
That's what I needed. That's what I needed.
Much
right
better.
There. Perfect.
There we go.
Oh. All right. So
what do you want to start with, Chancellor?
I think it'd be smart to start with the whole forged in Wyoming, right? And what does that mean? You don't have to be born in Wyoming to be forged here. It's just, how we are created based on our community and how we grow up here and how we embrace the culture, right? Because I think Wyoming has a very unique culture, and Wyoming people in general are just a different breed of people, right? I've been all over the U.S. in the military, and I will tell you, we stick out like a sore thumb amongst the crowd, right? We're the type of people that hold the door open for people. It doesn't matter if you're in dirty Jersey, you're in New York, you're in California. You are the person that people think that guy has good manners, he's respectable, good morals, right? And I don't think that is just with us. I think that's a common thing with people here in Wyoming.
Absolutely.
Right.
You get people that come from out of town just to visit, and that's the number one comment they'll make is people here are so nice.
Right, exactly. And I heard that a million times, right?
Yeah.
And that is just because that's a culture here, right? We're hardworking. We kind of keep to ourselves, and we kind of want to keep it that way. We're not afraid to be kind of brutal and honest with people, with the same time having this kind of reserved nature where we're not going to be threatening and attacking, right? Which is what I love and why I love Wyoming so much, as a Wyoming patriot, right? It's the best state in the world, and it's you see all these big names, even Ian Munsick, right? He's from Wyoming, but he's sporting that when he's out there, right? He's a Wyoming guy.
Yeah.
And that's what they relate him with, right? He sings about humble cowboys and stuff like that because people want that experience. So with the new people, the influx of new people coming in, we want to kind of keep the culture the same way, right?
Yeah, we want Forge to represent that brand, and that with that brand, we want to kind of extend and let people know what Wyoming's all about. And I think aside from that humble natured part we also have this gritty cowboy aspect.
We're hard people, man.
Yeah.
We live in the
blue
elements,
collar, man.
Yeah.
Think about what drives Wyoming, dude. Coal, the railroad, all hardworking people, right? So just kind of keeping that in the back of the minds for, the younger generation, and kind of trying to influence them to grow up forged in YO and represent this state based on how other people would see you is kind of what I want Forge to kind of press, right? With just the small amount of people we can influence with our podcast, our training people, our physical therapy clients, we want them to have this just I'm kind of a different breed of person.
And you want them to be proud of it, right?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that Forged in YO mindset is starting to get kind of twisted and lost, especially with the whole cancel culture stuff. And then just this new generation of kids, right? That don't really know what the blue collar was, right? We can kind of talk about how we grew up, right? Bighorn, Claremont, right? Hardworking communities and kind of gritty communities, right?
Gritty.
Think about our experiences growing up on the football team, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? We didn't grow up in a pampered, we had certain drills to follow and a dress code or anything like that, but we grew up lifting weights in a modular home, with holes in the walls, and it was just iron in us, right? Kind of a crazy head coach that we looked up to. Shout out to St. John.
St. John.
Love that guy. He's the whole reason Michael and I got into the weight room. But yeah, so.
And I think what we've all experienced and what we're seeing happening in the culture, we've all been out of Wyoming and kind of seen how the world's changing. And it was kind of eye opening about like the values that we grew up with here and how the rest of the world doesn't necessarily reflect that. I moved out to California, and it is a great state. There's great people there, but you'll see, like Chancellor was alluding to earlier, kind of this like cancel culture, less pride, and kind of that tough, gritty aspect where everyone in general now is a little bit softer.
Right.
And they don't really respect those values, or they're not necessarily like, they're kind of more frowned upon than they used to be.
Right.
And so we want to kind of bring that back, and also just like make sure that people keep hold of those values.
And I think one of the easiest way to kind of instill that meaning into people is have them work on themselves, where something where they're gonna fail a little bit, right? You're gonna come to the weight room, you're gonna have to add time, you're gonna have to add discipline to your lifestyle just to get results, right? You're gonna have to actually work hard for something.
Yeah.
Right. Which I think is the culture in Wyoming, is like we work hard, we're hard workers.
Yeah.
But just as if we can influence people coming in doing that, I think they're going to start pick up that. And like you were saying, other states might not be proud of where they're from, or even to be an American, which that's kind of hard to deal with sometimes when you're, a true Wyoming boy or a Wyoming gal.
I think it's just one of the few places left where, in general, the whole people, the culture, the society still is holding true to some of those like old American values.
Right.
And I think that's what partially what makes it unique. And I think that's why, a lot of people don't know about Wyoming. It's kind of like this forgotten state. We're like we are the like least populated state.
Does Wyoming even exist?
Yeah. Like people know the heck we are, or where we're from.
When I was in the military, man, people had no idea.
Yeah.
Right. I would tell them I'm from Wyoming, and they're like,
is that a town in Montana?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, do they have paved roads there? It's like, yeah, we have paved roads, but, cool. I'm glad it doesn't exist in your mind. Right?
Yeah.
Just kind of, we're kind of the people that just kind of want to be left alone a little bit, right? Because we all know what we're about. And if you're willing to accept this Wyoming culture, welcome aboard, right? But if not, you're going to be kind of singled out a little bit. But yeah.
When I think originally, like when Chancellor and I were trying to start this business, we were thinking about like going to other places. I think having grown up here, it does have such a small town vibe. We were thinking like we got to see the rest of the world and see what it's all about. But
there's no way I want to go back.
Yeah, no, after being out there, it kind of made me realize like what I already had, and how this is honestly like, I don't want to be anywhere else. I don't want to be part of anywhere else. I want us to come. When we came back home and I actually saw like, moving back from California to here, I was like, this is what I miss. This is the people. These are my people.
Yeah. Trey?
So the cool thing that sticks out in my mind is just how this all ties into the weight room.
Yeah.
Where did you discover the weight room?
Yeah, in Bighorn, Wyoming, right?
Yeah.
Wyoming.
Yeah.
And so a big part of how we forged ourselves in Wyoming is the gym.
Yeah.
And so that's a big part of how we want to instill that in other people. Because like you said, you start to, at some point in your life, you start to think there's greener pastures somewhere else. And then at some point you realize you had something to be really proud of back home.
Yeah.
And that's where you discovered all these things. And then that's what we would love to instill in other people that may be also thinking there's greener pastures elsewhere, right?
And that's a huge thing, right? There's a lot of people in this town that I even train that are just ready to leave, right? They I need to get out of this town for X reason and Y reason. But I will tell you from experience, once you do, there's no place like it. You can go to bed with your doors unlocked at night. I do every night. You don't have to lock your car when you go into Walmart. You can go up the mountains and not see another soul for a week.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like the little things that you don't think you're going to miss, you do. And then on top of that, just how, like Trey was saying earlier, everybody here is just so nice. Right? And that's kind of what led me into starting it in Sheridan, right? It was because, one, when I was building all my equipment to build this place, all I was thinking in my head is there's so many people in this town that could be doing the same thing because they have even better skill than I do.
Yeah.
Right? We have these hard workers, we have welders, we have everybody here that can do this. This could be like a headquarters for the equipment, right? Yeah. You know how like Rogue is based in Ohio, I think it's Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
Why can't Sheridan, Wyoming be the new Forge equipment headquarters with all this technology right down the street? you know, we have the manpower, we have the know-how, we have the skill as a state, as a culture, as a community to do these kind of things. So that's kind of why I wanted to push equipment for a while, man, to have forge equipment.
Yeah, and I mean, it may be an ambitious goal, but we want to put Wyoming back on the map.
Yeah.
I mean, there are cool brands here, but like, and what we were thinking too is like, there's not a united strength front.
No.
Yeah.
And there are, like we were saying, tough, gritty, and like, you know, country strong, corn-fed, strong people here.
Yeah.
And we would love to see it. Like, I mean, a lot of people don't know, but like the Vanilla Gorilla
As a world record holder.
Yeah, he lives out in
Yeah.
Gillette, and he's the greatest powerlifter there
pretty
is.
much all time.
Yeah.
From Gillette, Wyoming, right?
Wyoming.
And yeah, and it's like he just gets kind of swept under the table in the powerlifting realm, right? But and is that because there's not that know in the state about the strength culture, or I don't know. I don't know why he's kind of forgotten, but I don't forget him. I mean, he's a great athlete. So
Well, and that maybe comes from just not having a super strong strength community here, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, people aren't really talking about it. They're not really involved with it. And maybe, you know, people find excuses to leave the state. That's maybe a reflection on finding excuses also to stay out of the gym and not get involved in like personal development of any kind, right?
right.
So, I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, I think I know where you're going with that, right? So it's like people who want to pursue that strength game, that, you know, the athlete game, they tend to leave Wyoming because we don't have the facilities there.
There's no options.
We don't have as many options as, say, if you went to California and you got like 10 dozen gyms on a block. Right. So it's like what we want to do is bring this culture back to Wyoming. So all of these, you know, these hidden strong people, you know, like it doesn't have to be strong men, it can be strong gals, or just athletes in general. They have somewhere to go to train and be a part of, right? Like Forge is now encompassing all of Wyoming, right? Like everybody travels to one spot, you know, that's how you get to know people. That's how you make network connections. I think it'd be a really great thing for the community in itself.
And that's not even speaking on the things that you will get out of the gym, outside of the gym, like how that's going to improve your life outside of the gym.
Exactly. It's all about who you know, right?
Right.
So depending on where you are in your career, it's like, who knows how this strength connection might, you know, advance that other side. So that's kind of what we think when we're thinking about people that are forged in Wyoming, is we're just a different breed of people, and we want to keep it that way. If you're coming into this town, you don't have to be born here. You haven't had to live here for 10 years. Just accept the culture and how the people are here.
It doesn't matter. You're here.
And if you don't, people aren't going to be in your face about it, right? That's we're a community we're aggressive, but we're also reserved, right? So it's like, if you can't accept the culture, it's going to be hard for you to be forged in Wyoming, right? You're just going to be in Wyoming. So forge yourself with the culture that is present here already, is what I'm trying to say.
So what you're saying is,
In Treyman's terms.
the opportunity's here.
The opportunity is here, man.
Yeah.
So that's the whole grasp of what I want to get out with this Forged in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's just a hidden gem, and we had overlooked it before too, having wanted to go elsewhere.
Yeah,
But there's so much potential here. There's so much still going on in Wyoming. It's not like this dead state.
No.
And for all the people that are from here, it's like Chancellor was saying earlier, it's, you know, there's stuff to be proud about here, and there's reasons to stay here and be part of it. And, you know, you might be looking elsewhere, but I think everything you need is still here.
And if there's not something here that you need,
Build it.
build it,
Bring it.
right? Build
Yeah.
it. We
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole thing behind this, right? There wasn't a strength community here. Let's bring one in.
Yeah.
You can change Wyoming.
Right.
You can make it a better place.
Right.
You just need the know-how, and you don't even need the know-how, really.
You can find the know-how.
Yeah, just try
Just
it.
take the first step.
Do the work.
Yeah.
Right? So that's pretty much it, right? For Forged in Wyoming.
Yeah. You're
That's what
here.
we want to get out of it.
Make the most of it.
Forge yourself with the culture, grow, learn, be a part of something you can be proud of. And if there's something there that you want, go after it. This place is not dead. We're not behind the times at all. We're Wyoming.
And more importantly, people support you here. So if you want to go do something and make something happen, go for it.
Exactly.
Well, Wyoming's unique in that too. Is like they're just so strong supporters of their local people, their community, the small businesses here. We're a state of small businesses.
Yeah, we're all about the mom and pop shops, dude. So that was a blessing for us, right? We grew up knowing all sorts of people around the town of Sheridan, the city of Sheridan, Bighorn, Manchester, and we kind of get the support that they gave us growing up, which is cool.
Yeah,
right?
and then I think for us, in part, it feels like, we want to give back for all that we've been given to.
Yeah,
like showing gratitude for everything that we've been given, and we were looking for it elsewhere, but it's like I would way rather give back to this state, give back to this community
than anywhere else, right?
100%.
So that was the biggest blessing of starting Forge, right? Because now we have the opportunity to bring our skills, our assets, give it back to our community and make them better, right?
Yep.
We went off, we learned our stuff, we had our life experiences. Now we're back home with, a handful of lessons that we've learned, and let's teach it. Yeah. Let's make this new generation of kids not just another generation you see of just, on the phones and TikTok videos.
Greener pastures.
Yeah, and looking for, better things elsewhere. Yeah. Let's make them proud of where they're from, grow up forged in Wyoming. So when they're older, they can kind of understand how lucky they were to be here.
Yep.
So, which brings us to our next one.
Should we niff for this one?
I don't know if we should niff.
Another niff?
2 niffs in an episode?
Yeah.
Seems like a lot.
New subject.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Can't hurt.
All right.
It could hurt, but...
Ready?
Shake. Bang, bang.
Ooh, right in the eyeballs.
I can feel the fury.
Ooh. So, for those of you that follow us on Instagram or, just know people in town that are repping Fury on their shirts and on their hats, hashtagging Bring the Fury. What is that all about? Right? It's not what you'd think it would be. Right? So when you hear the word Fury, Michael, what do you think about?
Well, yeah, it's pretty extreme, right? It's not a very subtle,
no.
When we say that, it sounds extreme and intense, but again, we think it's part of the culture that we're trying to build here, part of the Wyoming culture. There's that humble part to it, but then there's also that nitty grittiness, that toughness, and we want people to start, embracing that more intense, aggressive fury aspect of it.
Right, because I think that everyone has a little bit of darkness in their life, right? A little bit of side that it makes everybody unique. You have to learn how to channel that through something positive, is what I'm trying to say. So fury, in my eyes, is a calculated aggression, right? It's not just hateful. It's not anything like that. It's not over the top. It's not malicious. It's calculated aggression towards something that's positive, and you're using more of your dark side.
And there's benefits to that, right?
Yeah.
If you are always kind of reserved, humble, stoic, and you don't let that side out of you, I think you're limiting your potential, especially in somewhere like their weight room, right?
Right.
If you kind of go in there timid, if you have 600 pounds on your back and you're going to go there timid, no, you got to embrace that dark side. Yeah, you got to embrace that dark side. You got to release that fury where you're just going to let that go, let that power that you have within, that anger, that hate, that's a positive way to turn that fury into something where you're going to smash a PR, you're going to reach your goals.
Right.
Yep.
And that can apply to other areas of your life as well.
It's kind of like a different realm, right? Once you kind of enter the fury mode, you kind of enter kind of like this other realm of existence, right? Where you're super focused, you have this channeled aggression towards your goal, and you're using that dark side, that hate, like Michael was talking about, to push yourself even further than you could if you were going in just worried about how this lift was going to go. I'm not confident, So just using it, be a little bit passionate about what you're doing. I feel like being passionate is so looked down and frowned upon, right? Yeah. People don't want to clap for themselves, right? I heard that saying one time. It's like, the crowd might not clap for you, but that's when you got to stand up and clap for your damn self, right?
Yeah.
Which is what I really like, right?
Yeah.
But part of that is like you have to release that passion, right?
Yeah.
you hit a PR, jump up. You know, I have clients that are like 55 plus years old,
right?
And they smash a PR and they act like a 25-year-old who just.
When you're about to smash a PR on a squat, let's say you're about to get under some weight that you've never lifted before, could potentially fail and get crushed by 600 pounds or whatever it is, right? So you're going into it with this elite focus and this elite power that you've channeled.
Right.
And you don't know if it's going to work out. And if you were to take that to other goals in your life, when the crowd isn't clapping for you and you channel that, you're going to be able to push ahead no matter what.
Yep.
And that's what you need to be successful.
And I think also it's like when Trey's talking about you're walking up, you're ready to hit this PR, man. How does it feel, right? You have anxiety about it. It's not, you have this nervousness to you when it's like doing the first team, like, so even like giving it like a public speaking engagement, right? You have this like nervous energy. Mm-hmm. How do you channel that energy into something that is going to be positive and make you stand out and you do better and perform better, right? That's what every athlete is searching for. That's what hunters are.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like elk hunting, right? You're drawing your bow back and there's an elk like 20, 25 yards in front of you.
Yeah.
You got to be nervous, right? You're shaking.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge hunter, right? But you're shaking.
You're
ready.
feeling it, man.
You're feeling it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you channel that energy and, be unsure about your shot and question yourself? Or do you just kind of release, man? Like, you've trained for this. Let's go. Bring it. Bring the fury. So.
Well, I think even in your goals too, right? Like Chance and I, like we didn't know what the heck we were doing when we started this. We didn't know.
No way.
We were definitely terrified, especially coming back home. And our original thought is that this isn't going to work out, but we still embrace that fear. We embrace that and just like push ourselves. And you go to that uncomfortable spot, but when you do, the reward on the other side is just like that much more worth it. That embracing of that fear,
right? Yeah. How good does it feel when you hit that PR?
It feels great.
When you,
you
how much did you squat?
610 the other day.
610 pounds, people. I
don't think people realize how much 600 pounds on your back feels like.
And how did it feel like when it was done?
It felt like air. Like when I re-racked that weight, it didn't feel like I even did anything, right? It just felt like another warm-up rep for me.
Yeah.
Like it was hard. I'm not going to lie to you. Like I grinded. Yeah. I think just I had so much energy going into that lift.
Yeah.
It's all channeled into my technique, how I'm going to brace, what I'm going to look at, how I'm going to breathe.
And so look at that mental journey you took just in that one rep of a squat.
Yeah.
But then look at the overall years of your training, and you've gone into training with that mentality over and over and over, and you've trained yourself mentally to do this, right? So how does that transfer over to your life in other areas?
Exactly, right?
You can utilize that elsewhere.
Bring that everywhere you go. It doesn't matter if it's your relationship, if it's schoolwork, if it's your job, right?
Yeah. You
have a promotion coming up and you have a bunch of things that you need to get done at work. Channel that nervous energy, man.
Bring the fury.
Don't stress out at home about it, and be ferocious in your attack at work.
Yeah.
Right? Like just dive into that. Your relationship. You're struggling in your relationship. You need to like spend more time with your significant other. Attack that ferociously.
Yeah.
Right? There's going to be aspects you have to improve and you have to attack. Right? And that's the same thing when you're weightlifting, right? You've been training for this. You know what you need to be done. Just do the work and do it furiously.
Yeah.
Right. So that's huge. I think that's a huge part of the fury for us, right? You bring the fury into everything that you go into. And one of my biggest things, my biggest pet peeves in gyms is where people look down upon someone who is releasing their passion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like someone who isn't as strong as me smashing 135 pounds on their squat and getting out there and being jacked about it.
Yeah.
Don't look at that guy and you judge him.
Right.
Clap for him, man.
Yeah. Build that dude up.
Build him up.
Yeah.
Right. So that fury that he has, it's going to carry him farther than what you could ever say to him is going to carry him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Any technique you teach him, anything like that, if he has that passion to drive and train that hard, that is going to carry him further than anything I could coach.
For sure. Yeah.
Right. So dive into that. Right. I hate gyms that don't encourage that. Right. Yeah. I don't care if people get loud in here. Yeah. I don't care if people, clap for themselves excessively in here.
Yeah.
I want that because that is something that you cannot coach. That has to come from within.
Yep.
Right? It's like this energy that I'm feeling right now, you know, like while I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
You have to have that inside before you even step in.
Right.
Right? And it can be learned, but it has to be, what is the word for that? Where you look inside.
Introspective.
Is that a word, Trey?
Sounds like a word.
That's a word.
Okay. But it has to be.
Somebody Google this.
It's something you have to find within yourself.
Well, I think that's why we decided to put that brand out, put that hashtag Bring the Fury into our brand, because we want people to walk in and kind of have a place to vent and find that. Because the gym can be an excellent like training ground to find that part of yourself. Because it's just in your face, right? You're going to do something, you're going to lift something that you're not used to, you're scared to lift. But it's a unique opportunity because you don't get a lot of those opportunities in life if you're not aggressively attacking your life.
Exactly.
So we want people to have a realm where they get to tap into that part of themselves, allow that part of themselves to grow. And then we, of course, want that to carry over to other aspects of your life.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, because there's people out there that don't channel that, they don't practice that, and then eventually life's just walking all over you and you're just allowing it, you know?
And honestly, it's like the people that aren't channeling that and they're not clapping for them damn selves when they get out of this situation.
Yeah.
They are comparing themselves to people that are way too far advanced.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a lot of people, they'll hit a squat PR and they'll be like, well, shoot, this guy, so-and-so, he does this much. Like, I shouldn't be this jacked about it. Yes, you should.
Yeah.
You should be that jacked. I'm jacked for you for hitting that.
Yeah.
Or your promotion, right? It's like, yeah, but I'm just only like the assistant manager. But that's badass, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pumped that you're doing that.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to bring with the Fury. It's like we want you to dive in and look within yourself to find that Fury, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be, crude. It doesn't have to be loud and obnoxious. But find that, just find that drive inside. Like, look inside yourself to find it. Because once you do, that is going to push you to new heights that you're not going to expect.
Yep.
Right? You're going to learn how to use the darkness for the light. Right? Which is, it sounds like some Jedi stuff, right?
It is, though.
But it's so true, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone has that, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone has, there's always going to be a time in your life where you're not sure that this is going to work out. But it does anyways. And how does that happen? You look inside and you find the fuel that makes you do the work and does it harder than you've ever done.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So when you bring the Fury to something, just remember that comes from yourself. I can't coach you to find that.
Yep.
Be jacked for yourself. Clap. I don't care if someone lifts more than you. I don't care if someone's higher at work than you, has a better life, makes more money. Clap for yourself. Bring the Fury. Attack that, and then be proud of what you did.
Yeah.
It's this aggressive pursuit of your goals. And when I mean aggressive, you could be aggressive about it. If you watch our videos, you think we're ever quiet when we're about ready to hit a PR? No, man. The whole gym is roaring in here.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do with all my clients if they like it. If not, that's fine. If your Fury is quieter, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But be proud of yourself. Don't get off the bench. Like one of the things that I can't stand is like someone hits a PR and they're like, oh, it was only 5 pounds. I should have been doing more. No, you shouldn't have. You did exactly what you did. We've been training for this, and you made progress doing it.
Yeah.
Be proud of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Progress is progress, man.
The biggest thing in strength is the strength game takes a long time.
Yeah.
Right? You're not gonna increase week to week. It seems like Mike and I do because we train a specific method that allows us to hit PRs on different variations every week. We're not progressing on the same exact movement every week.
Right.
We're not getting stronger week to week. We might be getting stronger on certain movements that we have hit weeks ago, months ago.
Yeah.
But the strength game is a long time. It takes a long time to develop strength. You have to get that notched into your head. And once you do, lock that in and ferociously attack the long game.
Are you good now?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Getting jacked over
out.
here. I love the Fury.
Yeah. So I think with that, we do want to see people clapping for themselves and bringing the Fury and being proud of it. So we'd like to open up to social media, and we'd like to encourage people to use that hashtag. And what are we doing for that?
So we were thinking that hashtag bring the Fury on your video. We'll pick a winner for the week, and they'll get a free Fury shirt or a Fury hat. Okay, we'll pick the winner, announce it on Instagram. I'm not very active on Facebook, so probably not Facebook, more Instagram. We'll pick the winner. We'll send you a shirt. And then everybody who's listening to this podcast will have a discount code. It'll be Fury Forge, right? So when you go to our website, which is...
What is the website?
www. Good job, Trey. You made it.
Marketing guru.
It's forgephysiogym.com. And then we'll have a place for you on that website to enter in that discount code for those of you that are listening. So again, that's going to be a 20% discount on the Fury shirts.
Fury lines.
Fury line of clothing we have.
And on top of that, we were also going to throw in a Forged in YO contest.
Yes.
Right? So same thing, same rules apply. Right? So hashtag Forged in YO onto anything. I don't care if it's in the gym. It can just be you doing a good deed. Do something, right? Something that's a little nitty gritty, something that's blue collar work. Hashtag Forged in YO. Show us how you're Wyoming, why you're proud to be Wyoming, and we'll pick a winner there too. And we'll throw in some Forged in YO gear. Michael's got the Forged in YO shirt on right now.
Oh yeah,
we got a hat as well that says Forged in YO. So it's the same contest. Winner will get either a shirt or a hat for using that hashtag Forged in YO.
And the discount code will also be Forged in YO.
Yeah,
it's mind-boggling. But that's kind of the whole. You got something to say, Trey?
No, I was just going to reiterate in Treyman's terms.
In Treyman's
terms, 2 contests. Bring the Fury. Clap for yourself on Instagram and hashtag Bring the Fury. Winner will be picked for Fury gear. And then Forged in YO contest. Show us why how you're Forged in YO. Hashtag Forged in YO. Winner will be picked. And then discount codes for the website.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we were trying to bring to Wyoming. Right. We've got 2 slogans that we just believe in wholeheartedly, and we want to bring that and encourage younger generations to accept it, embrace it, resemble it. So bring the Fury, Forge and YO. That's all encompassing of Forge and what we want to push. So remember, at the end of the day, unless you got something to say.
No, Michael, go for it.
Build yourself, conquer adversity. Repeat daily. Do these things ferociously in your life, and you will succeed. Drop the mic.